guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is something totally different. I am going to be talking about my first trimester. I know, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, and hopefully this explains it. As you guys know from the video that I posted a couple weeks ago, we are pregnant and we are expecting our first baby. So Jabari and I are so excited to be able to have this journey and to be able to experience the life of a child. So I am so excited, and I know I'm gonna be saying excited a lot. Words cannot describe how I'm feeling, and I'm just overjoyed that I'm going to be able to share this with you guys. So just so you guys know, if you guys see me looking down, I will be looking at my notes from either my book or from my phone. And I've jotted down my notes from my symptoms to my mood to my cravings to just our journey in general. And I was planning on having a whole totally different video on how we found out that we were pregnant, but I decided I'm gonna add that in here because it's not that long of a story, but it is a crazy story. So I hope you guys enjoy, and please make sure you come back and follow this journey with us. And I'm going to shamelessly plug my channel and say please subscribe down below and make sure you like and share this video. So let's go ahead and get on into it. I am going to first start off with how we found out that we were pregnant. So it's a funny story and a kind of scary story as well. Jabari and I have been trying to get pregnant for about 1.5 years now, and we're young, we're active, we both played sports in high school, we're both physically active and in shape now. We don't have any medical history of infertility, of course, because this is both his and my first child. So we were curious to why it was taking so long for us to get pregnant. For those who do not know, this is my first time telling a lot of people. Only certain family members and friends know, but Jabari and I, actually, we got pregnant in August of 2019. And unfortunately, we did have an early miscarriage. It was classified as a chemical pregnancy because we were so early. But of course, for me, a loss is still a loss, and that is our baby. And we went through some hard times. We had to take some time to be to ourselves. And of course, for our friends and family, we ran out and told them that we were pregnant and that we were excited. And it was very hard. It was a hard experience. And honestly, I personally don't know anybody who's gone through a miscarriage, and if so, they've never shared it. And so with that being said, I do want to put my heart out there for anybody who's going through a miscarriage or has gone through a miscarriage or is even having issues getting pregnant at this time or in your lifetime, because for some reason, as healthy as you can be, as fit as you can be, there's something that's going wrong that's making it harder for people to get pregnant. And so my heart goes out to you, and I hope you guys understand that yes, it was a chemical pregnancy, it was still our baby. But on other news, we did some testing, or we waited about 6 months, tried to get pregnant, waited for ovulation. I did ovulation strips. I did, we did the lubes, we did the my legs upside down. We did every type of method there is. I even bought about a $200 item to stick up in me every month to track my temperature. And I will have a separate video on things that I've tried to get pregnant and things that I believe worked for this pregnancy. So, but I'm not gonna cover that in this one because I'm trying to keep this video short, but I do wanna have all the details in there. So we tried everything. 6 months went by. Of course, my doctor's like, oh, nothing's wrong with you. You're doing fine. You're young, you're healthy. You should be able to get pregnant easily, like no problem. But unfortunately, 1 month turned into 2 months, 2 months turned into 4, and 4 turned into 6. And I understand, like, I am young. I will be turning 26 on Father's Day this year. So I understand, yes, I am young. But Jabari and I have been married for about 2.5 years, and we just wanted to start our family. We wanted to get going because we want 3 to 4 kids, and I have a vision for when I want my kids and when I want to stop having kids. And I know it's all in God's timing, so I'm not gonna rush that. But for me, if I can control the situation, I'm going to control it. But anyways, off topic. I went back to my doctor, and I personally didn't feel the concern or the eagerness to figure out what was going wrong or why it was taking us so long to get pregnant. I tested every day during my window. I can actually feel when I was ovulating. So I knew that I was ovulating. I knew that I was fertile. I knew that we had the window and we were doing everything that we needed to do. But she wasn't showing that concern of urgency or need to do testing. So I pretty much left her, went back to my childhood doctor who's known me forever, and I love her to death. As soon as I told her that we wanted to get pregnant and we've been trying and that we had a miscarriage and that it's been a couple of months since the miscarriage and we still haven't gotten pregnant, she showed the care and the urgency that I needed. So luckily, she sent us for some blood work. She sent Jabari for a sperm analysis, but she sent me to go get an ultrasound. And this is when the story gets a little crazy. Jabari's, his semen analysis came back normal. Everything was fine with him. So obviously going through my mind, I'm like, oh snap, it's a me thing. It's gonna be me, it's gonna be me, I'm the problem. And that's something so hard to swallow. And any woman who has found out that they're having the issues or their husbands are all clear, every woman understands that what if it's me? And it's definitely a hard pill to swallow. And so we went to the we went to go get the ultrasound, and the results came back. I'm at work one day, get a phone call from my doctor, and she's like, hey, yeah, so it looks like you have a heart-shaped uterus. And I'm not quite sure what the actual term for the heart-shaped uterus is, but I'll try to like put a description down here for you guys. But it's pretty much where your uterus, when you were in the womb of your mother, your uterus didn't turn into a triangle, or yeah, this is the best I can do, like a triangle shape. Instead, it started to arch, and it did fully form when you were in the uterus and stayed as a heart-shaped uterus. So with that being said, it's not impossible for me to have kids. It would just be harder to have kids, and I would have to be a high-risk pregnancy due to possible miscarriages or bleeding or anything like that, because with it being a heart-shaped uterus, there's not a lot of room for baby to move around and maneuver and to grow and to space out. And unfortunately, my uterus could rupture. So of course, going through my mind, I'm panicking. I told my husband, I'm like, I might not be able to have kids, like, and if so, I might be on high risk. We might have to like do extra precautions to have kids. We might even have to do like, we might not even be able to get pregnant naturally. And that costs a lot of money. I mean, kids are a blessing, and I would have did anything that I needed to do in order to have a child. But kids are expensive, especially when you're starting to go through fertility. And so that was a worry for us. And so we took some time, we did some research on it. We found out that there was a surgery for it, and we were about to go and make that leap to possibly schedule a surgery, see what I needed to do. We also looked into adoption. We actually even asked a friend of ours who, you know who you are, I love you so much. I'm not gonna put your name out there because I wanna keep that private, and her and I's relationship is very dear to me, so you know I love you. She offered to actually have our child for us, and I'm not gonna cry, but that means the world, and that's a friend to keep. So we went back to my doctor, and I had a follow-up appointment with my doctor. And so she's like, okay, well, next steps is let's have an MRI. Let's do an MRI to check to make sure that your uterus is actually what we think it is, because sometimes ultrasounds can be misconstrued and it might not be what it looks like. We just want to get a second opinion. We want to get a second look into it. We don't want to just jump in and just assume that you need to get surgery or that you're not going to be able to have kids. And so I had an MRI, and I actually wrote down the date. So I have my MRI scheduled for March the 3rd. I went in for my MRI, I had it done, everything was good, and there was no problems there. Next day, I'm not even joking, guys, this is where it gets wonky. The next day I woke up, and anybody who knows or who is trying to get pregnant knows that, oh, when I'm 8 DPO or 9 DPO or etc., I'm going to test, because even though we had in our mind that it might be a possibility that we couldn't get pregnant, we still had the excitement of every month testing just to see, because it happened before, why couldn't it happen again? So I woke up that morning, and it was about, I would say 11 DPO, and the test was positive. And of course, me being I was shocked. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I had my MRI yesterday. They didn't notice that I had anything in my uterus yesterday. And on top of that, before you take an MRI, it's recommended that you know yourself that you're not pregnant, because if they're doing the dyes and everything, that could have some effect on your baby. So, of course, before my MRI on the 3rd, I took a pregnancy test. It was negative. There was no line, there was no faint line, there was nothing on the spectrum of showing that I could have been pregnant. And so, with that being said, I was shocked when I woke up on the 4th and took a pregnancy test, and I saw the faintest line. I called my girlfriend up, and I'm like, okay, am I crazy? Is this a line? Am I seeing things? Is this an EVAT line? What's going on? There's no way I'm pregnant. Like, no way. I just had an MRI. I just had an ultrasound. I just had everything done prior to pretty much say it was gonna be difficult for me to have a child. So, it was positive. So I called my doctor up and she told me my results from my MRI. Found out I didn't even have a heart-shaped uterus. Yeah, I know. It's really crazy. It's wow. So, with those 2 weeks of being nervous, crying, looking up research, we had a sigh of relief because we knew that it wasn't me, it wasn't Jabari, it was just timing. And when my doctor said that, it made me think of all the times in my life where I'm like, geez, why isn't this happening on my time? And I'm sorry for those who aren't very religious on my channel, but I am. I realized that God has a plan for everything, and maybe we weren't ready in August. Maybe we weren't ready within those 6 months, and us taking those steps to figure out what was going on, God was like, okay, I'll hook y'all up, and blessed us with a baby. So it's crazy. I know some of y'all might not believe it, but it happened. It's true. And I am so blessed. I am so fortunate to be able to have had that journey, and it just brings me closer to God because it makes me realize that He does have a plan for everything, and He strives to fulfill people's dreams and wishes. I don't want to say that, but prayers. That's a better way of saying it. We prayed for this. We asked God for a child, and now we're having a baby. So that's our crazy how we found out that we were pregnant story. But to keep this video short, I'm gonna go ahead, just go over my first trimester's symptoms, cravings, and mood, and wrap this video up. I just wanted to share that story with you. Hopefully it gives somebody the encouragement that they need, and I will continue to pray for women who are having fertility issues. It's hard. It's a hard journey to go through, but just continue to pray and believe that God has a plan and He will make a way. So with that being said, during my first trimester, my mood, I would say I was normal. I was very happy, I was bubbly, and it's actually perfect timing. When I got pregnant, COVID happens. Well, we're currently in phase 1, but during my first trimester, I was blessed with being able to be quarantined. So this was the perfect time to be pregnant because I was at home and I could take my naps and I could just enjoy my first trimester without the stress of coworkers, the stress of driving 45 to an hour to work and sitting in traffic for almost an hour to 2 hours. So this was just a time for me to enjoy my pregnancy and get out of that stressful phase. I did have one breakdown during my first trimester, and this was when everybody had to keep away. Like, I hadn't seen my friends. Well, I still haven't seen most of my friends. My mom wouldn't hug me. His parents, his siblings, I couldn't see anybody, and everybody was mainly like nervous to come visit me because they didn't want to possibly give me COVID. And thank you for that. I understand completely, but it is difficult because when you're pregnant, you want to share that with everybody. You want to have the let's go to brunches and have my belly out, and I wanted to like be around my loved ones and friends, and I couldn't do that. My cravings, so my cravings were pancakes, blueberry muffins, and blueberry bagels. And I also went through a phase where I liked oranges and orange juice, but close to like 8 weeks, I started to get really, really bad indigestion. And I noticed it was because of the citrus in the oranges. And so every time I would drink orange juice, I would throw it back up because my stomach was on fire. My symptoms, I have a long list of symptoms, but the first thing I really started to notice was fatigue. I was so tired, and like I said, since we were during COVID, I was taking like 2-3 naps a day, and I didn't want to cook, and that explains why I didn't post a lot of videos on cooking. I didn't want to do anything but sleep. So I commend you guys who are working moms and had to work while you were in your first trimester. I commend y'all, because it takes a strong woman, because all I wanted to do was take a nap. So I also experienced dry skin. It was to the point where I would put lotion on my face and I would still get like little flakes on my face, like cradle's cap. Like it was weird. I also experienced like eczema on my chest, and I'm still experiencing it on my chest. And I have like really bad like scalp, I don't want to say dandruff, but dandruff. Like I would have really bad dry scalp. Talking about dryness, my hair, immediately once I got pregnant, I noticed it immediately. My hair would not retain moisture. It would not, any product that I currently used prior to pregnancy, it was not working. My hair was dry, it was brittle. I could tell that it was getting thicker, but it was dry. And so just the touch of it, it just felt like a Brillo pad. Then I also experienced a little bit of cramping at the beginning of my pregnancy, which was nerve-wracking, especially since I did go through a miscarriage. It was nerve-wracking. I can definitely say during the first trimester I was stressing, and I was trying to keep my stress levels down and stay positive. But going through a miscarriage before, it was alarming. Every day I would wipe and I would look to make sure I was not bleeding. Luckily, no bleeding, and I was just experiencing the normal expansion of your uterus. So I also experienced breast tenderness. It was not as bad as it is now. Now that I am further along in my pregnancy, it's gotten a lot worse and my boobs are a lot more sensitive. I also experienced nasal congestion. I still experience that today. It's kind of like a sinus infection, stuffiness in the face, cold-like symptoms. As you guys can probably hear, I'm like constantly doing the like sniffle sound. My nose is totally stuffed right now. I also experienced increase in thirst. And unfortunately, like I mentioned before, I had to ask my doctor for medicine. This medicine helped me keep liquids down because for some reason baby did not appreciate a lot of water, and I would just end up like throwing it up. Like it was to the point where it was like buckets of water being thrown up. I would throw up morning, afternoon, evening. It did not matter what time it was, I would just throw up. And I experienced morning sickness. My morning sickness mainly occurred during once I hit 8 weeks, it was like morning sickness. I didn't experience it the prior weeks, but once I hit 8 weeks, it was like me just throwing up anytime. And I wasn't throwing up food, I was throwing up liquids. So a good way to help with that, my doctor recommended me to eat watermelon or fruits and vegetables that contain a lot of water. Oh, another thing, it's not really a symptom and it's not really a craving. I would say it was not a craving. Baby did not like pork, did not like chicken, and did not like vegetables. And as you guys know, I'm a meatitarian. I love to eat. I don't care. As long as it's not moving on my plate, I will eat it. And I love food. So it was definitely difficult for me not to be able to eat pork and chicken during this time. And I still cannot eat it. I'm getting a little bit better at being able to keep down chicken. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm also going to insert a picture of my bump, and I'm gonna put it like here so you guys can see. Unfortunately, I do not have a physical clip of my bump at this time for you guys because when I was in my first trimester, all I was doing was sleeping. So now I am in my second trimester. I am currently 18 weeks. So by the time you guys see this, I am 18 weeks. And so I am further along in my pregnancy, and I feel a lot more comfortable sharing this experience with you guys. I have a lot more energy. I can actually get up and beat my face and do what I need to do in the morning and not feel sluggish. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. And please, 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 please comment down below on other videos that you would like to see. Thank you so much for recommending me to do these videos. I did want to do these, but I wasn't quite sure because originally my channel did start off as a cooking channel, and then turned into Life with Allie D. So I wasn't quite sure if this is the type of videos that you guys wanted to see. But if you did like this video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. So I hope to see you guys tune in for the next video, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye.